million tons, the equivalent weight of 1,204 Titanics. This is the amount wasted by Americans annually with food that they do not eat. This is an ongoing problem, and we need to change our ways. Each one of us contributes to this colossal number by throwing away food for whatever reason, and it's an issue for every one of us because we're all college students. We all want to save money. I'm Carly, and I'm going to talk about statistics regarding food waste in the United States. Joanna will give you policies regarding food waste, both in the United States and internationally, and Nick will provide ways that you yourself can reduce food waste. First of all, I'm going to give you some statistics regarding food waste. According to the article written by Mary Farrell titled Spoiler Alert, published in the September 2016 issue of Consumer Reports, a family of 4 wastes an average of $1,500 annually in food that is not eaten. Overall, our country tosses 63 million tons, and here's a picture of landfills. Most people throw away produce, and I will break that number down in the next slide for you. More produce is tossed than eaten. Roughly 52% of all produce is tossed. 78% of meat is eaten, 22% is tossed. Milk is the most consumed with 80% and only 20% is tossed. Half of all seafood is tossed, and grains are roughly 38% tossed. 43% of all this food waste comes from homes, which is the largest contributor. Close behind are supermarkets and restaurants with 40%. I talked about some statistics regarding food waste, and now Joanna will talk to you about policies formed in an effort to reduce this colossal number.
Thank you, Carly. If her statistics have delivered their intended effect, now I'd like to talk about what has been done internationally to reduce this problem. You see, this is not unique to Fargo, or the US for that matter. Developed countries all over the world recognize food waste as a threat to global sustainability efforts. Internationally, citizens like yourselves have pushed their governments to enact actual policies to combat this issue. European Union Commissioner of Health and Food Safety explains in a video on the Commission's website that in June the EU initiated a 3-point plan to combat this issue. Its focus was on improved monitoring, prevention strategies, and redistribution efforts. The Commissioner cites his frugal childhood growing up in Siberia as why he believes that food waste is the most repulsive result of consumerism. The Commission's 3 points of improved monitoring, prevention strategies, and redistribution have been implemented in various ways. In the UK, a non-profit organization gathers unsellable food and distributes over 20 tons a week to people who need it. In Bonn, Germany, a supermarket cooks past-ripe fruits into jellies and jams that they can then sell. The same supermarket gives damaged greens to rabbit breeders and makes bad meat available to cat and dog owners. Across Europe, communities and municipalities have built anaerobic digesters that turn fermenting food garbage into biogas that can be used on district heating grids. So what has the US done? Well, honestly, we've been slow to invest in major infrastructure such as digesters. But a 2014 report by Yale student Rachel Kernansky notes that cities and waste disposal companies are beginning to invest to keep food out of our already inundated landfills. So this should be good news. Also, in September of 2015, U.S. Secretary of Ag Tom Vilsack announced that the USDA has set a new goal to reduce food waste by 50% by the year 2030. So how are we going to do this? I understand that you personally probably aren't going to go out and purchase a digester or even start a volunteer organization with hundreds of people. But I think it's important for you to understand this larger movement at hand before thinking about what you can individually do to help. Nick would now like to talk to you about how you can individually aid in this global effort.
Thanks, Joanna. So now from the big scale down to the small scale things that you can actually implement now. And this is great because 1, it is easy, like the bar is set really low. And 2, even if you're totally selfish and only care about yourself, it still makes sense to do this because it saves you money. So first we're gonna look at what do those dates on food and packaging, what do they actually mean? So from the USDA's official website, on their page titled Food Product Dating, last updated in 2015, it outlines what they all mean. So the sell-by date means that is the date when the retailer has to sell that product by. It has nothing to do with the quality of the food at all. Second, best if used by. If you see this, it means that the best flavor of the food is guaranteed by that date. Just like the peak flavor, nothing else about the quality of the food. And used by means that the best quality of the food is guaranteed by that date. So what this all means is that just because your food is past the date on the packaging does not mean you have to throw it out. You can check and see, and often you can save a lot of money on food by doing this. So now to changing some of the habits that we have regarding the food that we use. This is taken from Dana Gander's 2012 article titled Wasted. And the first habit that we can change is to put the food that is closer to spoiling at the front of your fridge or the front of your cabinets. This keeps it on the front of your mind and reminds you that, oh, I have to use this up in the next couple days, instead of getting pushed to the back and forgotten about and then going bad. Second, plan a week of meals in advance. Plan out all the food that you need to buy for this and everything, and then buy just that food and nothing else. And this will keep you from buying too much food that you end up not eating before it goes bad. 3, freeze meat, cheese, bread, butter, vegetables. All this can be frozen and kept for much longer than it would have stayed well in your fridge or cabinets. And then when you want to use it, a day before you want to use it, take it out of the freezer and put it in your fridge, and it will thaw out for you. 4th one, keep track of all the food that you end up throwing away because it went bad. This will help you the next time that you go shopping to remember, oh, I don't need as many tomatoes or apples this time because I threw half of them out last time. So taking all of this into consideration, food waste is a serious issue in this country and our community. And we have a responsibility to change it and to end this ridiculous food waste problem that we have. So Carly talked about the statistics, the crazy statistics of what a big problem food waste is in our country. Joanna talked about the large-scale policies that people are putting in all across the world to reduce food waste, and that we can put into place in our communities too. And I talked about the ways that you today can start reducing the food that you waste. So let's do this. Let's change the way that we look at food and how we treat food. And let's start to feed people and not landfills.